live and breathe soccer? Looking for real, unfiltered takes on the world's biggest sport? Welcome to Soccer Unfiltered, the show where we break down the beautiful game without holding back. With your host, Carl Phillip, aka Coach, Dr. Joe, Coach Carlos, and Yonel. We tackle it all, from the rise of youth soccer in the US, to the biggest European leagues, to hot takes on global football news. Our crew has the insights and opinions that no one else dares to share. It's not just a podcast, it's the place where real soccer fans come together. Join us as we take you inside the game, unfiltered and unapologetic. This is Soccer Unfiltered, where the real soccer talk happens.
All right, welcome guys. Before we get started, man, let's have a little happy Thanksgiving, and then a little hot coffee, for everybody on there. How you guys doing tonight, man?
Good. Happy to be here. Happy to be back after so many weeks. So it was a great weekend of soccer and a lot of good games, and yeah, we had fun watching them.
Yep. So let's start with the introduction. Obviously, I'm your host, Coach Carl Phillip. With me tonight, I have Dr. Joe. Like he mentioned earlier, it's been a minute. It feels like I haven't seen Dr. Joe in like 2 months, but he's back with us tonight. And also, we have Jonel, the Real Madrid fan. He's back with us tonight. So, Jonel has been with us for a long time. So, thanks for having you guys. Let's start by saying Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving with your family. So let's get going, guys. We got a packed show tonight. So main topics, couple of things we're gonna talk about.
Carl,
Yep.
Can you try to mute yourself and then unmute it after that? Okay, try to talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it kept just like making a little bit feedback, like noise, like microphone noise.
What about now?
Yeah, slightly better, but we can go.
All right. Couple topics that I have. So Joe, right in your alley, Mascherano. He got hired as the Inter Miami head coach. Also, we're gonna kind of talk about Barcelona lost at home. The Liverpool and Man City derby. The injury crisis in Europe, and obviously Mbappe struggles at Real Madrid, even though he had a good game today. But so far he's been struggling with the team. So let's start with Mascherano hiring the Inter Miami head coach. So I'm gonna start with this opening question, guys. So what does Javier Mascherano bring into Miami as the head coach, and how can he build on the momentum of the Supporters Shield winning season? So let's start with Dr. Joe.
There's a little bit of issue with the sound. I think like it's better, but I think I get the question. It was about it's about Mascherano,
Yep.
the new head coach of Inter Miami. No, I think it's. I'm very excited about the signing. Mascherano has been a great player that played multiple positions, and as a coach, I think he coached Argentina 21 under 20, I believe, or yeah. So he has some experience. He's a guy with great character. I think it's a good addition to the team, given his relationship in the past with Messi and the other guys from Barcelona. I think it's a great signing for Inter Miami as we look forward to a new season. I know there's a little bit of disappointment about the season for a team that beat the record on the regular season, not to make it too far in the MLS Cup was a little bit disappointing, but I think with Mascherano and hopefully other signing for the team, we may get into Miami, may go further next year. Hello?
You on mute, Carl?
Mute.
No, Not at all.
You can hear him?
No, I cannot. No, we cannot. If you're using a PC, you probably need the output.
Jonah, you can hear me, right? I guess it's his
I
phone.
can I can hear you, Joe, but Carl,
Yeah, I
I can't.
guess. Let me see. Maybe if we can tell him.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I think your output. You need to look at
It's
your
the
output.
microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go. All right.
All right. Sorry about that. So Yonel, I was going to you. What's your take on Mascherano hiring as the Miami head coach?
I mean, it looks on paper a good thing, but I think this is more of a accommodating, appeasing to Messi in some ways because of the existing relationship. Um, I think a team like that with a coach, the previous coach, I don't know, I forgot
Tata
his name.
Martino.
Martino, yeah, with his experience, the way they get to the team, yes, he left, but I think that someone with probably the same level of experience would have been where you go further in terms of taking the team to, again, maybe win the championship next year. So I don't know what to expect, but sometimes a lot of coaches, because of their experience and the know-how wherever they've been before, they can actually translate to a more of a coach that has a lot more experience. You have plenty examples of guys that actually have been played, have not been coaching for way too long, actually take a team further than someone that has a lot more experience.
Xabi
But
Alonso. Xabi
uh,
Alonso. Xabi Alonso in
Xabi
level.
Alonso, Zidane, there's
Zidane.
plenty.
Yes,
Yeah,
many.
yeah, there's plenty. But I know this hiring is not so much for that. It's because appeasing and also even Tata Martino, the hire was also because Messi, to be honest with you.
But that
I'm not
Martino
saying
was hired before Messi, though.
it was in the works. If did you watch the Netflix thing?
Yeah, but
This thing's been brewing for a very long time. It becomes official later on, but
right,
those
but
things.
But I don't think, sorry, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying, but
If
what
you
I'm
have a
saying,
star player and then you build the team around him, I think that's okay.
that's fine. What I'm saying is that you asked the question
mhm.
from the get-go, where the team is, who is going to take them to the next level. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying it may not happen, but I'm saying if that was the main goal in the first place, then
Gotcha.
maybe you would have looked for someone with the same experience or more experience to take
I
them
got you.
to the next level. Now, I'm not doubting his skills, these people's skills. Yes, when Zidane was coaching Real Madrid, it was instant because he played with a lot of these guys already. He was around them already, so there was a camaraderie already. So therefore, when he speaks, especially with his experience, so there's a level of respect too.
Hmm.
So Marcelano, with his experience, with what he's done with Barcelona, other teams, and with Argentina, if you look at it, the people that they bring in, all the high players, whether it's Alba or um, everyone else that actually came later on, these guys will already buy in. So to me, that's good, but I don't know the next level yet. I have to see when they play. Are they digressing? Or are they going further with his tactics and everything like that? So I can't answer that question yet until I can see what he does. Yes, he's been coaching the under 20 for the Olympics. Yeah, these are kids that recognize who he is and represent. So these are bigger people. So we'll see how. I'll pretty much leave the public out just to know if he's going that
Yeah,
direction there. Yeah,
yeah. Only time will tell. But
yeah.
the one thing I see with Miami, and Joe can attest to that. Miami is like the Buenos Aires outside of Buenos Aires, right? So,
Yeah.
and then they see the fanhood of all the Argentina people in Miami, and I think that they want to keep that connection. So, what not bringing somebody from Argentina, somebody that is beloved for from the Argentina people? Obviously, you got Messi, right? But when you think about it, they have a lot of Argentina players in the team. So they have a
Yeah.
lot of Argentina players in the team. So they have a lot going on. So I think from a business standpoint, they try to appease the Argentina crowd down in Miami because they know that Messi is only gonna be there till 20. I mean, now they're talking about him extending till 2026. Uh, what's his name? Suarez went and extended his contract. So I think what they try to do is they have this new stadium coming up in 2026. So they know that the popularity of all the Argentine fans down in Miami. So why not bring in somebody that speak the language that's from Argentina that is beloved by the people of Argentina? Let's bring it to Inter Miami, has the new head coach. But this is the MLS. So if it was Barcelona or a big club, and then having Mascherano come in, he could have been questionable if Messi was still playing. But this is the MLS. I mean, so they tried to build the fan base down there, and they had a pretty good season. So I believe that it was a no brainer. Obviously, with the Messi presence in there, it's always gonna be a plus. But before we move on to the next segue, let's welcome Martin. Martin, welcome tonight, man.
Thanks for
Glad to
having me,
see you.
guys.
So the next segue, let's talk about uh,
No, before.
Mascherano, former team, Barcelona. So Barcelona this weekend got a loss at home. So give me a minute so I can kind of bring it up here. Today. So let me start asking you guys this question. What went wrong for Barcelona in the shock home defeat? And if this is a sign of deeper issues?
No, if I may, Martin, just I'll let him go first, and then
So
I'll
Ah,
Martin,
jump
before
in.
Martin go,
Because
Right
I
on the
have
hot seat.
I have
hold
the
on.
whole
Before Martin go,
understanding of
I
what's
wanna
going
I
on.
wanna ask the question to the listeners or the viewers. Do you think Mascherano is the right choice to lead Inter Miami? Please put in the comment what you guys think, because we want to know what you hear, what you guys think of it. So Martin, so Barcelona lost at home. It was an upset. So what you think went wrong if you watched the game?
oh, I guess I'm not really surprised. I mean, honestly, it's for me. No, really, I'm not. The thing is, we had a very actually. I wasn't expecting them to be that good that early in the season, to be honest. Um, but what can I say? What went wrong? To me, they look tired, pretty much. The team looked tired to me. Um, what else? There've been a couple of changes on the field, but if you look at, I mean, I was just looking at it the other day. Um, the amount of points they have right now, if you're comparing to last year with Javi, if I'm not mistaken, they have pretty much the same amount of points right now.
Hmm.
It's pretty much the same, right? So for me, it's okay. I mean, we're still first in the league. Obviously, Real Madrid's not far behind, even Atletico Madrid, but they have to be consistent. Like I said, for me, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. It's going to happen. I mean, at some point, it's better if it's better it happens right now than it happens, let's say, in the middle of the season or at the end of the season, right? But again, I wasn't expecting them to be that good that early in the season. So just like I said, just wait. So that's pretty much what I had to say about that. So I'm not
So
panicking.
yeah. So before we go to Joe, so this is the current.
That's the table.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the table. As we can see, Barcelona only 1 point ahead of Real Madrid and 2 points ahead of Atletico, but we're still in December.
Yeah.
And Can you hear us? I
Yeah,
was
I
taking
can hear
over
you.
because we lost you a little bit.
No.
You
I can hear
good?
you.
All right.
So I think my question to you, Joe. Let me sit with you. Uh, so it's so funny that a couple weeks ago when we have the Clasico, when Barcelona beat Real Madrid, they went up 9 points, and I just put up the standing right now. They're only up 1 point on Real Madrid. So kind of go back to what Martin was saying. It's still early in the season. It's not time yet to hit the panic button, even though that was a fun game. So, what do you think? You think that the myth of playing at home is it's Barcelona losing that myth? Like you go to the Camp Nou or Spotify, whatever they call it today. There's always a myth that you go play at their place, and you know it's tough to beat them at home. You
Yeah.
think that the myth is going away?
No, I don't think so. But there's a few things I wanted to mention about that loss. First of all, there was the first time Las Palmas beat Barcelona since 1971, and that was the next day after Barcelona celebrated their 125th anniversary. And that's significant. That's a significant loss. But I think there's a few things we have to look at. First of all, injuries. Barcelona, like other teams, I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that in Europe. They're facing a lot of injuries at this time, and that's not helping. Especially when you take a guy like Casado in the midfield, he's becoming very important to the team, and he's still away because of injuries. The second thing is the lack of versatility in the team. Hansi Flick plays a high line with Bayern Munich, with Germany, and now with Barcelona. I think what's concerning is the fact a lot of the team now, they are able to break. That's the third team that is able to break that high line. And I think when you're playing so many games, you have to have a plan B. You have to be versatile, and we just have to see in the weeks that are coming what's going to happen with Flick. Can he change his game plan? Can he change the formation? And all this will determine how far Barcelona will go in for the season. But I think, like Martin said, I'm not too worried. But I think there's certain things we have to wait and see how he's going to respond, how he can change the formation, because I think the team is becoming too predictable. And it's unfortunate because that's very early in the season. We're still very early in the season. We don't have not even the winter break yet. So we'll see.
So, Yonel, what you think?
Well, Martin was surprised. Remember yesterday when we talked, I'm like, I was surprised. The reason why it's not because it's just the team, the history, but also at home. So that's why I was surprised. Now, I didn't watch the game, but later on I watched a little bit of it. I'm like, it's the same tactical, and they got caught a few times the same way. Again, like Joe says, when you're playing the same way, you don't make any changes. Some teams will figure out how to beat you. But when you have a lot of injuries, the people that you actually put on the field, are they going to carry out the plan that you would have? Let's say it's your main true starters that are playing, and sometimes the adaptation, maybe there's a version of it, but not a full, high up octane, put pressure on, on the other defense. But other teams, teams like that, they not like the Atletico Madrid, the long time that park the bus and wait for you. They're not the Real Madrid that, hey, remember Real Madrid had what, 6 or 7 chances in the first half. Had they take these opportunities and he didn't switch in the second half, then you would worry about it. But for that game, he had no reason to switch his tactical ways. So if you keep winning with teams 4-0, 7-0, 5-1, and you scoring that many goals and no one scoring on you, I'm guessing he believe in his tactical. But I think that may need to change depending on who actually is playing in the midfield, but also who's playing in the back. Because when you're playing that high, everybody has to be on alert to pick the next man, to watch the next man, and to step up at the right time. Make sure that the offside is on point. Like you're not missing any beat like you were doing against Real Madrid. So, but these other teams, their tactical was always stay so back too. So they play a counter anyway. So they pretty much put them in their own comfort zone. That, to me, that's what makes it, like that. But I was surprised it happens because of the team and the fact that they were playing at home. I was really surprised. But, like we
Yeah,
were saying, yeah.
I agree with you guys. Everything you guys said, it's right on point. It's a long season,
Yeah.
so
This
and
is,
then you can win every games, uh, and injuries play a lot. Obviously, Lamine Yamal came in the second half, and then even when he came in, there was no rhythm from him. I mean, he couldn't get into a flow when he came into the game. But I think the question I want to ask you guys, when you're looking at uh, the Barcelona team, is that team built to be ahead, to play ahead? Because a lot of times when you score first and then you ahead, it's easier to take risks. And then when you have to come from behind and then you try to play the high risk, defense, is it? I mean, do you have if Barcelona has the right team, did they have to come from behind to play from behind?
Mhm.
um, sorry.
You
Well,
want to go first?
the
Go ahead.
scheme works. The scheme works, to be honest with you, because all the wins they had, it's the same scheme. But sometimes, the game, you have a little bit of luck that happened for you, or the other team is not up to par to take advantage of that, or they take advantage, but they're not taking all the opportunities that they can afford to. So that plays part of it. If you look at the game against uh, Bayern Munich as well. Again, there were opportunities, but they were not being taken, and also the opportunities that Barcelona was taking on. So it's a combo. So I'm saying the tactic can be tweaked, depends on who's playing and who they playing and the level of the game or at the point of the game. I can see them start like that and then adjust based on how the game is going, how much opportunities they're giving the other team, and how much advantage they have against the team. If you're playing against a team that actually stay back so much, and then you playing so high, and they're not taking opportunity, why? You shouldn't change your tactics. But if things are being changed around, the coach has to be more flexible to tweak a few things or maybe have a hybrid version of that same tactical ways where you push, you can't make it. A lot of teams will do that. They push so high, and then when it's not working, they back up a bit more, and then maybe after 5 more minutes, they push up, and then they back more. That way, they can actually help the midfield to support that. So again, is he that flexible? We don't know. We have not seen that yet.
So, Dr. Joe, you want to add something?
Yes, definitely. I think if you're a Barcelona fan, one thing you have to worry about is how deep is the roster. Because I don't know if you realize that the games that they lost, for example, Osasuna, he was trying to play a lot of players from the bench, right? And he went wrong. And then you get those injuries, and then and the same thing happened with the two other losses. So I think that's a concern that I have with that team. When we go very deep in the season, can that roster take them to the top? And I think that's something the administration, they have to think about what they will do during the winter break, the winter mercado, to see if they can bring some new blood to support the team, because I don't think that roster can, that roster is showing some limits. So we have to see uh, when we get to April, when we get to May, almost at the end of the season, can that roster take Barcelona to the finals of the Champions League, for example, or on top of the league at the end of the season?
Right.
I think it's too early to draw that conclusion. That's my humble opinion. Why I'm saying that, the way I see it, why they lost the game, again, that's my opinions. The fact that they were on the high. Oh, listen, they won. They were playing beautiful football. They beat Real Madrid. They beat Bayern Munich. Then the following week, I don't know whoever team they won again. So no matter, I mean, we all human beings, right? At some point, you're playing Las Palmas, you know you can beat that team. The level of focus won't be the same. I mean, whether you like it or not, the level of focus, the level of concentration won't be the same. Well, I mean, you saw it. It shows when they play. I mean, as I said, when I was watching the game, that's one thing. You could see that they were not playing as hard as they should. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm looking at the formation too. I mean, the players that were basically who starting the game were pretty much a bunch of offensive players, right? I couldn't find any defensive midfielder whatsoever. It's only basically I mean, it's you go, you attack, you attack, you attack. I mean, I don't know if that's a philosophy behind it, but there were nobody who could hold the ball. Well, that's not true, but I mean, who could dictate the tempo, let's say, in the middle of the field. That's how I mean, that's what basically what I saw. So again, to your point, if they have to gain new blood, I think they definitely need a defensive midfielder. I believe so. That's they definitely need something like that. But other than that, for now I think it's too early to draw the conclusion where they're gonna have to tweak the team. I would like to see it more, right? So if basically they keep on going and losing games like they're supposed to be winning, maybe at that point they should basically think about, you know what, maybe reshuffling the roster, everything like that. But so far, right now, it's too early for that. Like I said, I think it was just lack of consultation, and the fact that they were on a high. It happens, it happens to the best of us.
They play to the level of the competition, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. So let's move on. So today we had a big derby today with Liverpool and Man City. Uh, so for some of you who haven't seen,
Oh, yeah. What happened?
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
here. I'm here. I'm here. I,
Oh, yeah, okay,
so
okay.
I want to turn to you guys. Was this derby a statement by Liverpool, or was it like a wake up call for Man City? Because Liverpool now is three
The best
ahead.
team. It is the best team.
It,
Yeah, they're the
it,
best team. I believe Liverpool right now is playing the best football right now in Europe.
Period.
So,
Period.
so I'm gonna go with Dr. Joe first.
Oh, for that game. Oh, off note, I was happy to see the fans saying, "You're getting sacked tomorrow in the morning" to Guardiola, and him showing them his six fingers for the six times he won the Premier League. I think one thing, either the Liga, the La Liga, or the Premier League in Europe in general, there's a lot of injuries. I don't know if you guys noticed. And Guardiola, unfortunately, is in the receiving end of that same issue. So his team, he doesn't have his best players in great form, and I think that's affecting him. But win all deserves to for Liverpool, like you mentioned. Arne Slot is doing a great job with that team. They're very vertical. I think that's one of the change in his formation compared to Klopp. Klopp play a very high pressing, but not that vertical. They go two, three passes there in they're in the top of the box. So I think it's a well-deserved win for Liverpool, and then another nightmare for Guardiola. He looked tired, after being in that team at the helm for 10 years now. I think maybe it's time for change. So we'll see, but it's still early. You know, that's the thing with this leagues. It's like it's very early, and the difference is that if you look at the points, I don't know if you have it, the table.
Let me bring it up. Let me bring
It's
it up.
not a big difference.
Nine
So
points more.
Let me bring it up right now. So Liverpool right now it has 34 points.
yeah,
Chelsea behind with 25,
that's another
and
good team. That's another
and
good team. I don't know if you watch
all the
them
way
with
down.
Aston Villa. They play a very good game too.
Yeah, today, yeah.
Yeah. Man City is no, fifth right now in the standings.
11 points, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like it is a big gap, but we'll see. It's very early, but I think another nightmare for Guardiola.
Yeah. So Yonel, what's your take? Was it like a statement win by Liverpool, or was it like a wake up call for Man City?
Oh, Man City has been on a wake up call. I don't think I don't think that game is a wake up call. They've been on a wake up
That,
call
that
for a
was
long
not a
time.
blip. That was not a
No,
blip.
no, they've been on that wake up call, and I understand why, but they've been on that wake up call, and I think a lot of it, yeah, Liverpool win, and but I will just warning people that Liverpool is winning while most of the time they have their best team available at all times. So yes, they look to me. I'll say they look to be the best team right now. But while some of the other teams prior to them being winning so much are not actually playing to their best levels, well, first of all, because of injuries or other reasons, that's going on. So it's a long season, but in England, so it looks like CD is pushing itself away from being contender for now, but you never know. Maybe all these guys, most of these guys come back, and now guess who start getting all the injuries? Liverpool. We don't want that, but I'm just saying, this is what happens. You may start like that. Everybody's available to you. Again, you win the games that's in front of you, and you play who you have. So lucky for them, they have most of their players available. CD didn't. But CD started struggling even before some additional injuries were added to it. So I think the slump was there already before the injury. It just solidified what's happening. But they've been on a wake up call, and I think a lot of the changes that need to happen, they didn't do it, especially in the back. Also, they need to change a few things in the midfield. I don't think they have like forward issues, so it's just like uh, it looks like the the camaraderie, the mesh that they used to have, the understanding, it's not the same way anymore, especially for defending. So, yes, like you said, to me it looks nice, but it's a very early season. Things may happen. Liverpool may hit a slump, and all of a sudden, that gap becomes that small. 3 weeks ago it was 9 in La Liga, and Real Madrid is behind by 1 point with one game. Still needs to be played. So, and even that, again, this is an early season. So I think City still has some form of a chance. And how Guardiola, I think he needs to humble himself a bit, because at the end of the day, when you're not winning, you need to remember, some basic thing needs to start coming and then start winning those little games that you play. It's not the Liverpool or the Chelsea or the, those big teams. When you play these other small teams, start getting your little wins here and there, and then, once the recovery comes in, hopefully you can accumulate more players that make step back. And so far it's only one player that will not be back this season. So everyone has a potential to come back this season. So to me, they still have time, and it remains to be his work and how he intend on coaching these guys instead of making drastic change. That may or may not work for you. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. The only thing is, I don't think they look like they're the best team. I think they are the best team in Europe. I mean, they might not be the best team 2 weeks or a month later, but right now, as we speak, they are the best team.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take credit away from what they're doing. And we can talk about the other team when they get healthy and they start winning. We can say that they are the better team. But right now, Liverpool is the best team in Europe right now. They're the most consistent, and I'm not talking about the EPL. They also in the Champions League. They also consistent as well too. So they are the best team, and all the things that you brought up are the right reason. They have all the availability, so they're playing the best player. So they are the best team. So, but anyway, we're gonna take a 30 seconds break to kind of because we gotta pay some bills. So we got Cyber Monday coming up tomorrow. So let's get Cyber Monday going.
Should I put my bills on there too?
Hmm.
Every savvy shopper knows the thrill of Cyber Monday, the ultimate opportunity to redefine savings. With prices slashed up to 70%, seize the moment to bring home everything you crave without breaking the bank. From essential gadgets to fashion must-haves, the offerings are irresistible. Why wait another moment? Dive into these unbeatable deals today. Shop now and secure substantial savings. Embrace the excitement of Cyber Monday and witness the magic of ultimate discounts. Experience the joy of savings today. Don't let this day pass by. Shop now at www.excaliburshops.com.
All right, so we back. All right, nice segue. The injury crisis in Europe. So why injuries are piling up across top leagues, and is it the congested schedule to blame? So before you guys started talking, so I was reading this quote, and I could, for some reason, I don't know if it was the president
Perez.
of Real Madrid. I could remember where I read that quote, but basically what they say is Jude Bellingham at 21 he already played for 1 year, 251 games compared to David Beckham. At 21 years old, David Beckham only played 53 games. So just to
Uh,
show you, in 20 years, the amount of soccer these guys are playing. So let's start with you, Mark. What is it the strain of playing 70 games is causing us all this problem? Even though the medical it's better now than it used to be 20 years ago. So what's your take on that?
Definitely too many games they're playing. It's they're. I mean, and I mean, we're not machines, right? I mean, we need time to rest. Um, but obviously, the problem is the FIFA, UEFA, all those federation. They don't understand that they're here to make money, right? At the end of the day, they want to make money, so they come up again. I'll take the example of the club World Cup football, what's coming in in
Next
the
year.
summer.
Next.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it doesn't make any sense that you are basically you have a product and then you're pushing the product because you're trying to squeeze any all the juice out of it to make more money. And what's going to happen in the long run? This is not sustainable. It's I'm telling you, I can see it coming at some point. The other players, I mean, they're going to do something about it because they will have to slow it down and come up and they have to go back to something which is more reasonable because right now they're playing way too many games, and the fact that they're playing that many games, that's why you're seeing that level of injuries basically in the game. It's just it's simple math. So it's not sustainable, man. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't see. I mean,
Let's bring the doctor into this conversation. Talking about injuries. So
Yeah, no, no, definitely. I agree with Martin. When it comes to the number of games that the players are involved in, and like you mentioned, the example of Beckham and Jude Bellingham, I think definitely there's a lot of games those players are have to play, but also I think it's a very complex issue because it's not only they playing more games, but the contract that those players have nowadays too. It's astronomical.
yeah,
The amount of money that they are playing a player for a season now. It's getting higher and higher. That's one thing, and also the fans. That what we are asking players now, it's a lot. So I think there's a lot of issues, but also I think we have a new generation of players too. One thing we have to consider: are they training as hard as before? Because I remember one of the international for Germany, I think it was Podolski, that said now a lot of those players, they don't want to do the same routine that they used to do. And, I don't know how that can be a factor in all that we're seeing. But I think definitely playing too many games can be part of it. We obviously we don't know exactly why. It could be because they are playing a lot of games. It could be the preparation too. It could be a lot of things. But I tend to agree that maybe it's because they are playing too many games.
Yeah. Everything you guys said is right in the money. Yeah, the factor that you play too many games. The second part is I think the game is so commercialized right now, and the players looking at the game as a brand. So everybody is so focused on the brand. So maybe the preparation is not there because they're looking at, hey, how can I be on my Instagram? Actually, I know what you were talking about. The guy was saying that those guys are more worried about the Instagram followers than than the game itself. So when you think about it, it's 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 a complex thing, right? It's a complex situation with everything's going on with all the games. And let's think about it. When the guy said that due diligence is more than 50 games, that's a fact. And they're playing more games than, than they used to play about 20 years ago. So obviously, those guys are not machines. Even though the technology in the medical field is much better than it used to be, or still much better than they used to be 20 years ago, but it's still a lot of wear and tear on your body, right? And I think the one thing that we saw different between now and before is the break. Those guys used to take longer breaks, in the past. Now they don't have breaks at all. I mean, and the more tournaments that you add in, when those guys are not taking that many breaks, it's gonna have some negative effect on your body. So I mean, obviously we talk about Dortmund, not Dortmund, Man City having all those injuries. Real Madrid right now, Vini Jr. is not playing. Barcelona struggle with a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season. So there's a lot of things going on right now that's causing all those problems to happen. But we'll see. Obviously, we want the product to be on the field. But hopefully, at the end of the season, when things get very interesting. You guys can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next thing is Mbappe. Even though he scored a goal today, so let's talk about the struggles that he's having at Real Madrid. Let's talk. Let's start with Lionel first, since he's a Real Madrid fan.
What?
Let's start with you first, since you're a Real Madrid fan.
I think this is more of a confidence. If you look at it, he hesitates too much comparing to before. I think he needs to be a little bit more selfish around the box. And I think a lot of times he's looking to pass too much. He's looking to help too much, or it's like here I am, I'm trying to pass. No, he needs to be, that hungry, that dog. He needs to have that. I think today the goal he scored, it was the fact that it's that same instinct he had. I believe in my shots. I'll stop the ball once, and I don't need to do too much, and I'll just place it. And some of the goals he actually missed today, it's because I think he's in two minds. And I think to me, uh, he probably has he's probably in shape, but I think that his confidence level is really low. He's in between two minds. He's thinking too much. Maybe the pressure, because sometimes I think somebody like himself shouldn't be suffer on that pressure, but I think it may. But I think that he needs to be a lot more selfish, especially right now, because if he's more selfish, he can actually. It's in his best interest to find his form right now, because if he doesn't, everyone's going to look for Vinny to come back.
Right.
But I think if he finds it now and then Vinny comes in, I think Vinny's going to be playing very well with him anyway. But I think he needs to find his form right now, and before Vinny comes back, in that way they can mash a lot better. I just think that he suffers a lot of indecisive decision. He needs to be more selfish. Yes, he played better against the team he was playing for. These are the games that you usually find your groove in before you actually see stiffer competition. People actually can figure out from A to Z, and you need that little magic to actually make the difference. So it's not the Mbappe that you can depend on, that can make that last minute you know contribution and help you, but it was okay comparing to what it was. So it's not even there yet. I think this is confidence wise 60%. He's not there yet. He just needs to be much sharper, better, quick, and be more accurate.
I still think the pressure. It's no pressure that he ever faced before. I mean, when you're looking at it, when he was playing at Monaco, nobody knew who he was. When he went to PSG, he was Neymar's team. You see what I'm saying? He would just come in, and then you have. But this time around, when he went to Real Madrid, even though Vini was there, but he was the attraction. He was the main attraction. And playing
But
for Real Madrid, it's no PSG,
yeah,
it's no Monaco. So, so
but overall,
that's a different league. So
yeah,
I
but
think
overall, I think that pressure is not with his teammates, with the team specifically,
no,
the
yeah.
people
I
around
mean,
him. I think this is more. Again, if you're not
so-
playing good, you're not performing well,
yeah,
everything else comes to play.
right.
Oh, I should have been there. I should have done this. So again, he's second guessing himself,
Yeah,
and
and then we
that's
see
why I
it.
said get away from his head. Stop, doing the right things. And a lot of people kept saying that when you watch the Real Madrid training, he's flying. So why is not translate? I think he is in his head too much.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, when you think about it, Hazard was a great player for Chelsea. He went to Real Madrid. He wasn't the same player. I mean, playing for Coutinho. That's another example. That
Yeah,
dude was great for Liverpool, and then went
but
to Barcelona.
yeah, but Hazard was
Only
different.
it
Hazard
just
was hurt every time.
huh?
That's the big difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hazard
but
was hurt every time.
regardless, he did not play. They pay a lot of money for him to go to Real Madrid. He did not play to the level. The player they thought they were getting, they did not get that player. So what I'm saying is the pressure is still there.
Yeah,
So it's not PSG. I mean, PSG is probably one of the worst clubs when it comes to European soccer. When it comes to footballing, aspect of it. Real Madrid is not like that. They expect you to perform, and they probably support him, but I think he's putting that same pressure on him. So when he doesn't perform, and then he starts second guessing, and then your confidence is low. So and then you guys all play soccer, right?
yeah,
And you know what happens when your confidence is low. Even the little things that you used to do, like a simple pass, you can't even make a simple pass because you don't have that confidence. You doubt in yourself.
yeah.
So I still think the pressure is bigger at Real Madrid. I'm not saying the pressure is the reason why he's not playing well, but I think uh, and also I think the roles are a little bit different. The way he used to play at PSG compared to how they use him in Real Madrid. I think the roles are a little bit different. So, I mean, it's early, just like you guys are saying. It's early in the season. He's still got time to get his groove on, but we'll see. So, Martin, what's your take on that?
For me, I will say that there's no higher pressure than playing in the World Cup finals. The guy went, he played twice in the World Cup final. He played 2018, 2023, and he balled, man. The guy was, I mean, he was sensational. So, point is, I don't think for me, I just, like I said, it's me. It's not a question of pressure. I think pressure is not shouldn't be a problem for him. Um, the problem with Mbappe is that when he goes somewhere, when he comes somewhere, he always brings a circus with him. There's always things around him. There's always something. So that's I think that's his issue. You need to work with those things, like to find a way to keep those things aside and just focus on football. Uh, you-
Yeah, I mean,
you-
Martin, I agree with you when it comes to the World Cup pressure. There's nothing like the pressure in the World Cup, right? So, the first World Cup he played, I don't think that if he didn't play well, you would. I mean, you would not notice that, right? But 2022. I mean, he played well in the final, but leading into the final, it was Griezmann that carried that team. So what I'm saying is, but when they pay you that much money to go play to the biggest club in the world, I mean, sometimes like the World Cup happened every 4 years, but you have to play day in and day out, and everybody and the media in Madrid, it's, it's not like the PSG media. That's what I'm saying. But the pressure, I mean, he probably played the biggest game. It's the same thing when you look at Messi. He played in the biggest game, but when he went to the World Cup in 2014, he still got the pressure, the weight of the nation on top of him. So, I mean, it depends how you look at pressure. Pressure can come in any type of way.
no, I agree. I agree with that. But I agree
So,
with
Doctor, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think you guys mentioned a lot of good things, but there's three things I want to add to that. I think, like Martin said, Mbappe is used to pressure. So, by the way, he's one of two guys in the history of the game that scored a hat trick in the final, and he's part of only five guys that scored in two consecutive World Cup finals. So we're talking about a very great player. But I think we have also to look at two things off the field, what's going on for
it.
Mbappe
There you
lately.
go. Exactly.
So, what happened in Sweden
Yeah.
is still an albatross around his neck. And, his issues with his former club that's still going to the courts. And he has a lot of things going off the field, and I think that played part in his performance. Also, like you mentioned, the pressure of the timing of him joining Real Madrid, because he joined the team after they won everything. So now he's the face of the team, and basically after they won everything, so he has to prove himself, and it's a little bit difficult timing for him. But I have no doubt that's the guy that has the means to bounce back and even win the Ballon d'Or next year. Who knows? I think like the team of this night is like everything is too early, but I think Mbappe we'll see if the things that are happening in his life off the field will have the better hands, but we'll see. But I think there's no doubt about his talents. He should be Real Madrid face, and I think that's the plan for the team. And hopefully he can bounce back in a few weeks from this. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. So I got a couple of things for our viewers. So, viewers, first thing, question: who do you think will win the Premier League this season and why? So,
Ooh.
drop your prediction in the comments. And the second one for the viewers is: if you were Ancelotti, what changes would you make to help Mbappe shine? Also, drop your comments, and drop your take on the comments because we have comments and then we love to see it. So viewers, please, engage with us and see what you need to do. Hopefully that we can talk about those comments on the next session. All right, guys, it's 8:55. That was a action-packed episode. We covered a lot of things. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Uh, and it was great. We had fun. It was a fun conversation. Always a fun conversation. And then also we always there to kind of break down the biggest stories in soccer. Talking about Mbappe struggle, the injury crisis in Europe. Barcelona lost at home, so it was fun, guys. So for everybody who's watching us, don't forget to follow us for our content. We on YouTube now. This episode will be showing was also been showing on YouTube, and obviously on Facebook Live. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving again, and enjoy your week.
All right, man. Take care,
All right.
guys.
All right, guys.
Bye.
This Thanksgiving, we pause to celebrate the moments that bring us together. On the field, at the table, and in our hearts. From all of us to all of you, we're grateful for the passion, the teamwork, and the joy you bring every day. Happy Thanksgiving. Whether you're scoring goals or passing the stuffing, may your day be filled with happiness, laughter, and love. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, because today, we're all part of the same team.